Enterprise Management 360.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Chat. Now, on today's episode, I'm excited to be joined by Ryan Corey, who is the CEO and co-founder of Cybrary. So, Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Max. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to speak to you. We've got an interesting topic to talk about today with a skills gap survey. But before we get into that, would you mind just giving our viewers at home a bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, not at all. So I am, like you said, the CEO and co-founder of Cybrary. Cybrary is the world's largest cybersecurity career development platform. You know, our mission is to try to close the skills gap in cybersecurity. It's a pretty big problem. And we've been talking about it for a while. So typically when you hear skills gap in cybersecurity, what most people are referencing is talent gap. And then what we're talking about today is more of the actual skills gap. So which skills are missing from the cybersecurity field?
Exactly, because it's Cybrary just released a skills gap survey and there's a lot of interesting information in there. So what the survey was investigating, what methodologies were used to kind of get these findings across?
We found that in general, companies are not training their employees. They're not enabling them to develop skills that align with the current needs of cybersecurity in their work role, and therefore their confidence in their ability to protect their organization and their organization's data, the confidence level is extremely low. So that's ultimately what the survey found.
Which adds so many dangers to the organization and also, you know, people when they're working. And I was looking at some of the findings, and one that kind of shocked me was people were having to study up in their free time and on weekends because there wasn't training available. And great that if people have that motivation, but if they don't, it leaves a massive shortage, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And it's reflected in their confidence level, in their ability to protect their organization's data. And that's scary. When you have 65% of respondents saying that their confidence level is extremely low in their organization's ability to defend against attacks. And it's no surprise, right? I mean, attack vectors are opening up more and more every day. Now that we're all at home, like we are here and you are there, right? Attack surfaces have just expanded a ton. Cybersecurity, Max, is the fastest moving technological industry out there. It just continues to evolve every single day. New attack surfaces open up every day, and new ways of being attacked open up every day. And we're not continuing to skill our professionals up day after day, week after week, whatever. No, they're being left to their own. The individuals are being left on their own to skill up. And the companies aren't taking it seriously.
Yeah, very true. And I want to delve into in a little bit what organizations can kind of do from their standpoint. But I just want to go back to the survey briefly and ask from your perspective, were there anything that surprised you, any of the key findings that really kind of stood out for you?
The only thing that really jumped out to me is that people do prefer online. This hasn't been the way that we've been doing things forever. We've always kind of been in a world where you send somebody off to a 1-week course, something like that. And then they come back and it's pretty expensive. But yeah, it looks like the shift to online. I guess it's not that much of a surprise, right? We're all kind of getting used to this new world of cloud everything. But yeah, it was funny how I just didn't assume that more people would prefer online because we've been doing it one way for such a long period of time. So that was the thing that jumped out to me the most.
Yeah, there's definitely that adjustment period, as you say, with this whole cloud shift, and then the security ramifications that come with that is a whole nother factor. And especially with lockdown and COVID, there were so many things that cybersecurity teams had to think about very quickly, like at the blink of an eye. So I think that's played a massive factor into all of that.
Yeah.
So another element, obviously, we need to discuss here is organizations, because we can't just put the onus on people and them wanting to learn. There has to be a 50-50 back and forth. So what steps do you think businesses need to take to address some of the barriers the survey identified?
The survey very clearly stated to us that organizations are not taking training seriously. So most, there's only 25% of the respondents said they get on-the-job training at all. Organizations need to think a little differently about this, not just because they want to build, or it's in their best interest to build the confidence levels of their people that are defending their data and their privacy, but also because of retention, right? So when you train, one thing that Cybrary knows for sure, because we've been doing this for years, is that when you give somebody a path to their next level, so like, let's say that they're a SOC analyst, right? And they want to be a SOC analyst level 2. When you give somebody a path to that next level, and then you give that, and there's that payment barrier there that they would break, and they get more money, more income. When you give them a path, they retain. They will stay with your organization. By not treating training with a high level of priority, you're not only increasing your organization's vulnerability to data breach, but you're also increasing your tendency to lose your great employees. And so, so I think that we're going to see a shift in the coming years, like a little bit more clear in career paths, right? A clear way of doing career pathing and that kind of thing in an organization, because this is a problem, and the world's not talking about it enough right now, but it's coming out here in this data for sure.
Excellent point. Ryan, it's been great talking to you about the survey today and giving the insight. Would you mind, before we head off, just giving our viewers where they can find the survey and some more information on Cybrary?
Yes. Yeah. The survey is available on Cybrary. That's cybrary.it. So just look up Cybrary and you will, it's kind of like cyber library, Cybrary, and you'll find it. And I think the team did an amazing job with the survey. The survey was based on about 1,000 different respondents, generally across the board, cybersecurity and IT practitioners. So it's a great report. I'm super proud of the team for doing it.
Excellent. Well, Ryan, thank you very much for coming on and talking to me.
I appreciate the time, Max.
Thanks, Ryan. And yes, as he said, please do go check out the report, especially if you're in the CISO management space. It's going to be an interesting report for you to take forward. We'll be back next week with another episode in our Tech Chat series. In the meantime, you can join the conversation at EM360 on Twitter and LinkedIn. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And of course, for more great daily content, head on over to em360tech.com.